My wife told me I was just a practice husband right in front of our therapist. She said, once I'm done figuring myself out, I'll trade up. I laughed, signed the divorce papers mid-session, and walked out without a word. That was 6 months ago. Today she was crying in my driveway holding a baby I didn't know existed. I left the phone on the floor and walked away without looking back. No warning. No yelling. Just silence as I pressed down until the screen spiderwebbed and her smug little expression finally twitched. She opened her mouth to say something, but I was already signing the divorce papers she thought I'd refuse. That was 6 months ago. She called me her practice husband. Said it so casually during our final couples therapy session, like she was ordering soup. Once I'm done figuring myself out, she said, I'll trade up. I laughed. I mean really laughed. Therapist shifted in his chair. She blinked. I signed every paper in front of me without reading a single word and walked out. No goodbyes. No last looks. Just the sound of the door clicking behind me. That laugh? It wasn't anger. It was relief. Because I finally saw her for what she was. And now? She's in my driveway holding a baby I didn't know existed. Crying. Her mascara running down her cheeks like punishment. And I haven't even opened the door yet. You want the truth? Fine. I'll give you all of it. But don't expect a neat little arc. This isn't redemption. This isn't healing. This is the kind of story that makes people check their locks twice before bed. 6 months ago, I was the guy who made excuses for his marriage. Lena and I were married for 7 years. The first 5 were good, real good. She was clever, sharp-tongued in a way that kept you on your toes. We met at a bookshop of all places. She corrected my pronunciation of a French author I wasn't actually reading. I married her 3 years later. But something changed in year 6. It started with space. She wanted space. Then came the solo therapy. Then the girls' trips. Then the late nights that didn't come with explanations. And finally, the therapy sessions together where I thought we were repairing the cracks. Silly me. Because all she was doing was rehearsing her exit. I feel like I settled, she said once during a session. Like you were a soft landing while I figured out who I am. I should have left then. But I didn't. Because I still loved her even while she was untangling herself from me like I was a cobweb she walked into by accident. Then came the bombshell. Our last session. She leaned forward and said it. You were my practice husband. She said it without malice. Just matter of fact. Like she was reading from a prepared script. Now I know what I want in a partner, she added. And it's not this. The therapist glanced at me, probably ready to manage a meltdown. Instead, I just laughed. Quiet at first. Then full. The kind of laugh that cracks something open. I took the pen, signed the divorce papers, and stood up. Then I crushed her phone on the way out. Because she never turned off the voice recording app. Yeah. She was recording every session. Probably planning to slice my words into a narrative she could feed to her friends or worse, her lawyer. I never spoke to her again. Until today. The first month post-divorce was peaceful in a way that made me uncomfortable. The silence felt like guilt. I kept waiting for the twist. For the regret. For the call. It never came. Instead, I got a message from one of Lena's friends, Aaron. A screenshot. It was a group chat. Girls' weekend planning. Champagne emojis. Poolside selfies. And a comment from Lena. Honestly, I should have left him years ago. Dead bedroom. No ambition. Just a placeholder until I figured myself out. That word again. Placeholder. That night, I deleted every photo of us from my phone. Burned the wedding album. Boxed up everything she ever touched and dropped it at Goodwill. Didn't even keep the ring. And for a while, I started to feel human again. Until 2 months ago. When I got the anonymous email. No subject line. No sender name. Just a single line. Thought you should know Lena had the baby. It's yours. Attached, a blurry photo. Hospital room. Woman holding a newborn. Face turned away. But I recognized her hands. The crooked knuckle on the left index finger. The bracelet I bought her 3 Christmases ago. I stared at the image until my eyes dried out. We'd never talked about kids. She said she didn't want any. Said it with the finality of someone who'd practiced the answer. I believed her. Now she was a mother. And she hadn't told me. I didn't respond to the email. Didn't confront her. Instead, I started digging. I hired someone. Private. Quiet. No records. What he found. Lena had moved in with someone 3 weeks after the divorce. A man 10 years older. Corporate type. Expensive car. No social media. She registered a change of address with his place. Confirmed by mail. She told her neighbors they were planning a new life. Said the baby was his. But the timelines didn't add up. She'd have had to be pregnant before we even filed for divorce. Which means she knew. She knew and said nothing. Last week, the man she moved in with filed a police report. She left. Took the baby. No warning. Just vanished. She took money from his account and disappeared. He's pressing charges. That's when I got the second email. Same anonymous address. She's coming your way. Now she's in my driveway. Baby in her arms. Tears in her eyes. She doesn't know I know. She doesn't know I own the house next door now. Bought it under an LLC, just in case she ever tried to return. Set up cameras, alerts, motion sensors. She doesn't know I've been planning for this moment since I saw that first photo. She thinks this is a surprise. She thinks I'm going to open the door. I won't. Not yet, because the real story is just beginning. And she doesn't know what I've built while she was off, figuring herself out. Date 1. I watched her from the upstairs window for 13 minutes. She didn't see me. She kept shifting from one foot to the other, arms wrapped around the baby like it was a shield. Or maybe a key. Her hair was unwashed. Her sweatshirt wasn't hers. I think it was mine. One I hadn't seen in over a year. Gray with a tear near the collar. It hung off her like a threat. The baby wasn't crying. Just staring. Wide-eyed. Blank. That scared me more than if it had been screaming. At minute 14, I picked up my phone and sent a single text. She's here. 3 minutes later, the engine down the street rumbled awake. A silver SUV rolled slowly toward the house. Stopped just short of the driveway. A woman stepped out. Mid-40s, short-cropped hair, dark jeans, boots that said she didn't bluff. Her name is Beth. She's not a cop. She used to be. Now she works for me. Think of her like insurance. Human consequences, wrapped in denim and maternal fury. Lena turned as Beth approached. Her expression shifted, hope, then recognition, then panic. They talked for 2 minutes. Well, Beth talked. Lena listened. Or tried to. I couldn't hear what was said. Didn't need to. Beth pointed at the baby, then the car, then my door. Lena shook her head, clutched the baby tighter, started sobbing again, said something I couldn't read. Beth waited. When Lena didn't move, she reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. She handed it to Lena. Lena opened it. Read. Staggered. And then she looked up right at my window, like she knew, like she could feel me watching. I stepped back into the shadows. 5 minutes later, she was gone. Beth didn't stay. She never does. When I came downstairs, the paper was tucked under the mat by my door. I picked it up with gloved hands. It wasn't the one Beth gave her. It was a copy. I unfolded it slowly. DNA test. 100% match. The baby is mine. And Lena's name? Nowhere on the paperwork. Because I filed it through a third party. Quietly. Months ago. All I needed was a toothbrush. One of hers from the old house. Still in a drawer when she left. The baby's hair was enough. One strand. Lifted off her shoulder during one of her court dates for unrelated financial misconduct. Unrelated. That's funny. She's unraveling. I can feel it. I know where she went after Beth confronted her. There's a hotel on Brighton Avenue. She checked in under a false name. Left 20 minutes later. The front desk said she looked like she was about to vomit. The baby stayed quiet the whole time. My guy at the DMV pinged her license plate in a toll booth 3 hours north. She's running now. But here's the part she doesn't understand. She doesn't have custody. Not officially. Not anymore. Because I filed a motion last week. Preemptive. Based on suspected abandonment, fraud, and criminal financial activity. All it took was a few affidavits. One statement from her ex-fiancé. Yes, she got engaged to the man she moved in with after me. Briefly. The ring was pawned 2 weeks later. He has the receipt. I filed everything before she even knew I was watching. Because she's predictable. She uses people. She discards them. She lies. Then she comes crawling back. But only when the other options burn out. I was never her first choice. But now I'm her only one. And that terrifies her. I didn't want a child. That's the truth. Not with her. Not like this. But I've seen the baby's face. And I've seen how Lena holds her like an apology. That baby doesn't deserve to be the next casualty of Lena's spiral. So I called my lawyer. We're filing for emergency custody in the morning. I have everything I need, proof of paternity, proof of financial stability, records of Lena's fraud and erratic behavior. But more than that, I have patience. And she has none left. You want to know what hurts? It's not that she lied. It's not even that she hid the child. It's that she knew. She knew that if I ever found out, I wouldn't run. She counted on that. She held back the truth until she needed something. That's not motherhood. That's war. And she just walked onto my battlefield, carrying the one thing I can't walk away from. A daughter. Mine. And she doesn't even know her name. Because Lena didn't give her one. Just a nickname. Baby girl. No birth certificate on file. No legal record of her existence. She's a ghost child. And now, she belongs to me. Update 2. I named her Evelyn. I sat at my kitchen table with the hospital paperwork Beth delivered, stared at the blank line labeled child's legal name, and filled it in like it was always meant to be there. Evelyn Grace. Not a negotiation. Not a suggestion. A declaration. She deserves a name that isn't a placeholder. She deserves to exist in the world without being a pawn in someone else's crisis. I didn't realize I was crying until the ink blurred. Beth picked her up 2 days ago. The handoff was quiet. No police. No threats. Lena had fled to a roadside motel 2 towns over, tried to check in under a second fake name. Beth knocked on the door with a custody order in her pocket and 2 plainclothes officers standing behind her. Lena didn't scream. She just collapsed into the doorway like someone unplugged her spine. Said, "You don't understand. He's dangerous." Beth smiled. "No, Lena. He's prepared." The baby was silent. Again. I wonder if she learned early not to make noise around her mother. It'll take time to unwind that. But we've got time now. My lawyer pushed the emergency order through fast. Too fast, maybe. Family court flagged it for review, but the judge overseeing Lena's case already had a record of her financial misconduct and pending fraud charges. One look at her file and he signed off. Full emergency custody to me. Supervised visitation for her. Pending psychiatric evaluation. She didn't even fight it. Not really. She showed up to the hearing in sweatpants. Hair unwashed. Eyes vacant. She kept glancing at me like she didn't understand what planet we were on. The judge asked if she had legal representation. She said she didn't need one. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I just watched the last of her performance slip away. The courtroom was quiet when they handed me the papers. Evelyn's legal guardian, me. I didn't celebrate. I sat in my car afterward for nearly an hour, gripping the wheel so hard my knuckles cracked. This wasn't revenge. This was responsibility. And I wasn't going to screw it up. The nursery was already ready. I know how that sounds. But I'd started building it 2 weeks after the email. Quietly. Just in case. I told myself it was stupid. That I'd never need it. But some part of me knew. I bought furniture at 3 separate stores. Nothing matched. I didn't care. The crib is old. Refinished. The walls are blank except for a single frame. A photo of me and my brother at age 6. Holding our father's wrench set like it was treasure. I want Evelyn to have a memory that isn't just made of survival. I want her to have something clean. Lena hasn't contacted me directly, but she's been posting. Not under her name, she burned through that one already. Too many mutuals watching. Too many burned bridges. She made a new Instagram. Different alias. Different city listed. Same lies. Photos of herself with deep filters. Captions like, starting over, healing journey. And, they tried to take everything, but I'm still standing. No mention of Evelyn. Not once. Like she was never real. Like she was never part of the plan. The man she moved in with? The one who filed the theft report? He contacted me. He wanted to talk. We met in a public cafe. Neutral ground. No threats. No posturing. Just 2 men comparing notes. Turns out she told him she was infertile. Said it with tears in her eyes. Said I'd pressured her to abort. That she was finally healing from the trauma. He believed her. Gave her space. Paid her bills. Let her redecorate his apartment like a suburban hostage taker. And when she got pregnant, she said it was complicated and didn't want to talk about the circumstances. He backed off. Because he didn't want to be the guy who doubted a woman's trauma story. And then she drained his account and ran. He's not pressing charges anymore. He dropped them. Because she called him from a burner number last week. Sobbing about the baby being stolen by an abusive ex. She's rewriting the script again. And she's getting sloppy. Zoe, yes, that Zoe, is now handling the digital trail. She's a friend of Beth's. Works in reputation management, mostly for corporate clients. But she's also got a hobby. She tracks lies like they're fossils. Within 12 hours, she had a full profile on Lena's fake account, alt-Reddit usernames, burner emails, and 3 open DMs she sent to mommy influencer pages asking for support during a custody injustice. She sent one message that said he never wanted her. He said she ruined his life. He took her just to hurt me. Zoe flagged them all. Filed reports. Compiled the logs. She handed me a folder the next day. I'm not here to fight your battles, she said. I'm here to make sure you don't have to look over your shoulder while raising your kid. I didn't say thank you. Didn't need to. We both knew what this was. Tonight, Evelyn fell asleep in my arms for the first time. I sat on the floor beside the crib for almost an hour, her cheek against my chest, tiny breath fogging my shirt. She didn't cry. She just existed. Fully. Completely. No more ghosts. No more placeholders. Just Evelyn Grace. Mine. Next update soon. I think she's about to make a move. I think Lena doesn't know how to sit still when she's not the center of something. And when she moves, I'll be ready. She has no idea what I've prepared for her next. Update 3. Lena finally snapped. Not in court. Not online. At the grocery store. She didn't see me. I was one aisle over, picking up formula with Evelyn strapped to my chest in a front carrier. It's a small store, one of those off-brand places that sells everything under fluorescent lighting and emotional detachment. I only heard her because she screamed. At a cashier. Over. I think it was a bottle of wine and expired coupons. I didn't even see the beginning. Just the fallout. She was wild-eyed. Hair in a greasy ponytail. Wearing a hoodie that still had the hospital's discharge bracelet attached. Her cart was barely full, just enough food to suggest a long weekend, not a home. The clerk asked her to calm down. That's when she threw the wine bottle. Didn't hit anyone. Didn't need to. Security pulled her into a corner, then called the cops. I stayed hidden. Watched from the cold cereal aisle, Evelyn sleeping against my heartbeat. One of the officers tried to talk to her gently. Asked if she had someone to call. She looked straight at him and said, "He took her. He took my baby. And no one will help me." Her voice cracked halfway through the sentence. Not with sadness. With rage. Like she still believed this was a movie and she was the protagonist. They didn't arrest her. They probably should have. But she's a white woman with tears and a story. That still counts for something in this world. One officer escorted her outside and sat with her on the curb while the other filled out an incident report. I left quietly. Didn't need to be seen. Didn't want Evelyn anywhere near that energy. I got a call that night from Lena's old therapist. Yeah, her therapist. He tracked me down through a mutual friend. Apparently I'm not hard to find when you're determined. He left a voicemail. Said it was important. I debated calling back. I didn't owe him anything. But curiosity is a disease. So I did. He sounded tired. Not sad, tired. Like a man who's seen too many people like her walk through his door and walk back out worse. He told me Lena had stopped seeing him 6 months before our divorce. Claimed she felt judged. He tried following up. She ghosted him. Not uncommon, he said. Then he said something that caught me off guard. She was always practicing grief she didn't earn. I asked what that meant. He said Lena would rehearse emotions in session. Try them on like dresses. Sorrow, victimhood, healing. But never shame. Never accountability. She wasn't trying to get better, he said. She was trying to be more convincing. I didn't respond. What was there to say? He told me to be careful. Then he hung up. The next morning, all 4 of my tires were damaged overnight. Clean cuts. Same depth. Same pattern. No note. No witnesses. Just the quiet sign of tires slashed evenly. I didn't call the police. I called Beth. She showed up an hour later with coffee and a toolkit. We replaced the tires in silence. She didn't ask who did it. She didn't have to. Before she left, she pressed something into my hand. A key fob. There's a panic button on this, she said. It doesn't call the cops. It calls me. Then she drove off. Lena started posting again. This time on TikTok. New name. Same face. Cropped at soft angles with ring light filters and piano music. She's rebranding herself as a grief mom. No mention of the custody hearing. No mention of Evelyn. Just vague, manipulative buzzwords. Some of us were never meant to be mothers. But we loved anyway. I carried her inside me and now I carry her absence. My ex said I was too unstable. I say I was too human. She speaks directly into the camera. Like it's a friend. Like the truth is subjective and pain can be framed. The comments are brutal. Half her sympathy. The other half? Women with records. Survivors. Actual mothers who lost children and recognize a manipulator when they see one. They ask questions. She never answers. She just posts more videos. One a day. Always in the same outfit. Always with her wedding ring still on. She forgets we divorced 8 months ago. I spoke to Evelyn's pediatrician today. She's healthy. But quiet. Too quiet. The doctor asked about her environment. Stress levels. Noise. Bonding. I told her the truth. She's been passed around like luggage. Fed inconsistently. Held without care. Talked to like a burden. Cried to sleep in bathrooms while her mother called ex-fiancés begging for help. Yeah? Now she doesn't know what comfort is. But she will. Because every night I sit beside her crib and read. I don't care if she understands. I want her to hear my voice. I want her to know that love isn't volume, it's presence. And I am present. Tonight, Lena sent me an email. First direct contact since the custody hearing. Subject line, don't do this. Message body. You're not a father. You're a placeholder for one. I gave her life. You're just using her to hurt me. I'll take her back. One way or another. Attached was a photo. Me in the park holding Evelyn. Taken from a distance. She's watching us now. Not through legal channels. Through lenses. Through fear. Through obsession. I sent the photo to Beth. She replied. Want her gone. I haven't answered yet. Because I want to see what she does next. She thinks she's unpredictable. But her spiral is a map I've already memorized. She's about to hit the final turn. And she's going to find out. I paved the road myself. Next update soon. She's building towards something. I can feel it. Something theatrical. Something desperate. But I'm ready. This isn't survival anymore. It's containment. Final update. She entered my house without permission late at night. I was waiting for her. Not in the dark with a baseball bat. Not with the cops hiding down the block. No. That's what she expected. I left the front door unlocked. No cameras inside. No alarms. Just the lights low and Evelyn asleep upstairs in the nursery, door locked, white noise machine running, Beth sitting inside with a taser in one hand and a stuffed rabbit in the other. I sat on the living room couch reading a book. She came in through the front door like she lived here. Hoodie, jeans, barefoot. Her hair was tangled. Her eyes weren't wild. They were empty. I didn't look up. She stood there for 12 seconds before speaking. You took her, she said. I turned the page. She's not yours, she tried again. She's not yours either, I said. That cracked her. She lunged forward, stopped halfway, something snapping behind her eyes. She wasn't here to hurt me. Not physically. She was here to do something worse. She started a video recording, speaking into the camera. She began recording a video and started crying. I'm in my ex-husband's house. He's keeping my daughter from me. I just wanted to hold her. I just wanted to say goodbye. I watched in silence. She turned the phone to me, still recording. This is the man who ruined my life, she whispered. I set my book down. You're right, I said softly. I did ruin your life. She blinked. You want to know how? I asked. I stood, walked past her, opened a drawer, and took out a single envelope. I held it up. This is a copy of your TikTok videos sent to Child Protective Services. This one's your incident report from the grocery store. This one is the GPS data from your burner phone mapping every place you followed us. She stared at the envelope like it was radioactive. And this one? I added, holding up the last. It's a letter from a lawyer. One who works for the father of the man you stole $8,700 from. Her knees gave out. She dropped to the floor. Didn't cry. Didn't beg. Just sat there, whispering, you don't understand, she's all I had left. I knelt down inches from her face. No, I said. She's all I had left. And you gave her to me. Beth walked Lena out 10 minutes later. Didn't touch her. Didn't speak. Just stood behind her until she left. The door clicked shut like the end of a sentence. I waited an hour before going upstairs. Evelyn was still asleep. Beth handed me the baby monitor. Said she'd be in the guest room if anything changed. I didn't sleep. I just sat in the hallway listening to my daughter breathe. Lena hasn't contacted me since. No emails. No posts. Nothing. Her TikTok is gone. Her alias is offline. Her trail cold. Which means she's doing one of two things. Running. Or planning. It doesn't matter. Because her access is severed. Every file submitted. Every motion granted. Every detail locked behind court orders and digital walls. She doesn't know the new address. She doesn't know the name on the lease. She doesn't even know Evelyn's last name. Because I changed it. Legally. It's not mine. And it's sure as hell not hers. It's the name of the woman who raised me after my mother overdosed. My grandmother. Evelyn Monroe. A new name. A clean name. A name that doesn't belong in any of Lena's stories. People ask if I'll ever tell Evelyn the truth. That her mother tried to trade her like a receipt. That she wasn't named until she was 6 months old. That she was dragged through motel rooms and lies like luggage. And I don't know. I don't know when or if I'll tell her. But I know this. She'll never wonder if she was wanted. She'll never feel like a placeholder. She'll never hear the phrase practice family whispered like an excuse. Because this house? This life? It's not practice. It's permanent. Yesterday Evelyn took her first step. Right toward me. Arms out. Smile wide. A sound like laughter cracked open the silence of this house. I caught her before she fell. Held her against my chest. And whispered the only truth that matters anymore. You'll never be a weapon. Not again. Somewhere out there, Lena is rewriting her version. Maybe she's crying in a women's shelter. Maybe she's moving in with another Mark. Maybe she's already found someone new to believe her first draft. I don't care. I don't need revenge. I got Evelyn. And that's the ending she never saw coming. Thank you for reading. There's no more war. Only aftermath. Only breath. Only her.